So this may be one of the reasons why Bitcoin did not go up, because of, even though today tech rally, why didn't go up? So there is some fear that there is about $4.3 billion worth of Bitcoin, $69,000 worth, that the U.S. government can now sell from their, I guess, reserves that they confiscated from the Silk Road, right? I don't know I don't know the details of it, but I guess there was some investment company that claimed ownership of 69,370, and they brought the court case up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court denied it. So now basically the US government controls that 4.3 billion. So that means the US government can now sell it off, right? But the thing is, I mean, they hold a lot more than that. The US government holds 203,000. So out of the 69,000, which a lot of people are concentrating on, there's still like 130,000 that could have sold off already, which they haven't. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird FUD scenario where a lot of people are like, okay, the U.S. government could sell off $69,000 Bitcoin, but there was still 130,000 they could have sold off, but they never did. So I don't know. Are they going to sell off? Are they not going to sell off? No one knows at this point, right? But there is some fear about this. But let's keep in mind, worst case scenario. Let's just say the U.S. government decides to sell 69,000 Bitcoin away. You know what other country recently sold off a ton of Bitcoin? Germany. Like this guy said, Germany sold 50,000 Bitcoin recently at $62,000. And where are we now? $62,000. So we didn't move at all. So if the U.S. government decides to sell 69,000, yes, a little more than 50,000. Will it move the price? Maybe a little bit. Will the price recover? Yes. Right? So it's not the end of the world, and there's no guarantee that they will. Just because they have it doesn't mean that they will. Remember, one candidate said that they want to take all this and put it into a reserve and call it a strategic reserve and use it to pay off our deficit someday, right? And if that's going to be the case, there's no reason for the Department of Justice to be selling off all the Bitcoin now, right? If you think about it, I mean, there's really no reason to sell off. And even if you sold all of it off, which is worth $12.6 billion, which sounds like a lot, $12.6 billion is not even considered a drop in a bucket when you consider our deficit is $35 trillion. It's not even 1%. It's not even anywhere close to 1%. So what does it really do for our government? Nothing. Zero. Nada. But yeah, there's some FUD around this, so I just want to address it. Will the government sell it tomorrow? Maybe. Maybe not. Will they sell it ever? Maybe not. I mean, they've been holding at 200,000 for like 10 years now. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So who's to say that they're going to sell it anytime soon, right? Now, here's an interesting fact. Even though it seems like the U.S. government holds a boatload worth of Bitcoin, guess what? Fun fact. BlackRock, MicroStrategy, Grayscale, even with Grayscale's dumping, these three companies hold more Bitcoin than the U.S. government, right? Okay, Bosman Bing says, when Germany sold, it dropped from 64K to 54K. But where are we now? We're not at 54K, okay? We recovered. So calm the F down. And don't at me. You know me. Anyone that ats me irritates me, so don't do it. So interesting fact. These three entities that are obviously not as big as the US government, but they all hold more than the US government, right? So if you put it into perspective, the US government actually doesn't hold all that much, right? So once, we'll get to a point. Once the governments around the world actually start like hoarding Bitcoin like they do gold, when they get into a war of like hoarding Bitcoin and they spend their trillions doing so, just imagine then what the price of Bitcoin will be then, right? It's going to be absolutely insane. When private companies right now can hold more Bitcoin than the government, that shows you how little our government actually holds right now. It's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket, like I said, right? But one day it's going to change. It's going to change. Just watch. The US, Russia, China, they are going to get in a war of accumulation, right? Who's going to hold more Bitcoin? Fidelity bought over 100 million Bitcoin in the past 24 hours, obviously through ETFs. ETFs were huge yesterday. Today, not so much. Yesterday had 235 million. Today, Fidelity had almost 50 million exodus, but the others, not so much. Almost all zero. Nothing from BlackRock yet. We will see tomorrow. Maybe they still had a big inflow day, right? But overall, inflows more than outflows, right? Again, a lot of accumulation at this point, especially from the big boys, the institutions and whales. There's no doubt about it. Now, there is something going on with MicroStrategy, and I think you guys know it, and I've been showcasing it in the mornings. MicroStrategy is going through, I guess, what it's called. This is called a gamma squeeze. MicroStrategy is going up and up and up. Now, it's getting to a point where it's about equal to its previous high in March, right? It's actually like a precursor to what Bitcoin is going to do. But it is going up and up and up. It's having a huge squeeze right now. It is only 2% from all-time high. And this Bitcoin strategy that Michael Saylor has implemented has made his stock surge 1,200% since 2020. While Bitcoin has only gone up 445%. So you could say MicroStrategy has been a leverage play of Bitcoin. And if you think about it, it makes sense because Saylor has been taking out loans, which once upon a time was deemed very, very stupid and idiotic. He took out large amounts of loans and sold large amounts of securities to buy Bitcoin with, right? Or security notes, I should say. And that was seen very, very stupid back in the day. But now it's looked at upon as a genius move, right? So, I mean, MicroStrategy is just like going in a different direction right now. But here's the thing. I see MicroStrategy as a precursor to what's going to happen with Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is going through that gamma squeeze, right? It's seeing what Bitcoin is going to do in the future. October is still in play. Even though it seems like October has been forever, today is only the 8th. We only started the first day of the second week. Okay, that's the important thing. We barely got through the first week. So we still have a full 3 weeks to go.